Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Critscast. This evening we have the 6 vs 6 Nations Cup number 8. It is round number 2 of Group F. Israel versus Russia. Quick rundown of the rosters on Team Israel. The two scouts are Delgin and Dippy. Soldiers are going to be Wacky and Jackie Legs. Demo is Zoe. Medic is Zangetsu. On Team Russia, we have Utka on the scout Pluxer. Other scout, DQZ. On Soldier, Turek, other Soldier, Sano Demoman, and Mad Mac on Medic finally. And we are seeing the rollouts here. This is Israel versus Russia on Granary, round number 2. And let's see what these teams are going to be all about here. Seems a nice early aggression from the Russian side. They're not looking to slouch about on Israel as they've penned them into the corner, doing really good damage there. But Turek unfortunately does go down to it as well. You can see pretty well around their mid, but Zangetsu ultimately does get picked off by ZQZ at the end of that fight there. And ultimately it slips out of their hand pretty early there. Really sort of clean mid out of the Russians there. They sack both their soldiers and just managed to capitalize completely off the back of that. So Israel gonna have to resign themselves to a last hold here. Jackie Legs is up on the spy, interestingly. Dippy pulling up the sniper as well, managing to get the nice early kill on the Russian scout. They're certainly going to slow them down, but they've got full advantage here. Just looking to cap out this second. Look to go into last and hopefully sort of work their way into this last here. 60% Uber disadvantage on the side of the Israelites. Jackie Legs still opting for the spy, interestingly enough. But they might be given just enough time to fortify their defensive. No off classes other than that thus far. And they're coming straight out of the Russians here. They're all bombing forward. They managed to stack onto point. The Stickies are still there. They're just getting as deep as they possibly can. But Jackie Leg's still on this high ground. Bit of an attempt to deny from DQZ. But ultimately, the Israelis just getting completely outnumbered. Zangetsu cannot do any more than he already has. And ultimately, that's going to be the first round converted to Team Russia there. 2 minutes in, 28 minutes remain, of course. Could go either way. It's very early doors here, but looking pretty decisive on the side of the Russians in the first round there. So, round number 2. We saw last mid, the Russian soldiers really keen to go deep and just not give Israel any space whatsoever. So, you can imagine a similar plan this time around, but Israel opting to play a bit more high ground. A nice early bomb out of Jackie Legs there. Landing on the lamp. It's just a bit chaotic here. And joining me on the cast, dropping in at the last minute, is going to be Godfather. Thankfully pulled in my core. I can stop talking for just half a second. And we can sort of get this rolling. But again, another very decisive mid for the Russians. They do lose their medic, Mad Mac, this time around. So they're going to sully things. And but how are you doing, Godfather? Oh, no.
I am doing alright. I am here and ready to cast, just getting my stuff set up, and I'll be with you in just one moment.
That's fine by me. So, Israel have managed to get themselves on second, of course, pick up Mad Mac, really crucial for them there. DQC in the backlines manages to just pick off Jackie Legs, which is certainly going to slow matters down, as I do believe he main calls for them, but Israel quite keen to fight it anyway. Really good damage on the combo of Russia, and they do manage to pressure him out just enough. Those soldiers going down, of course, so essential on this map. Pluxer does try and get him in. It does get Zangetsu. That's a pretty huge entry on his part. So Israel managed to work their way out of yard, set themselves up on this middle point now. Unfortunately, Delgin does go down pretty early to a sticky trap lying dormant on catwalk, and it's just going to be a bit of a melee. It looks like Russia have something to say about Israel's position in this midpoint now, and ultimately just get picked off. They do manage to get the force for it. Wacky and Jackie in cohesion, in terms of bombs and names, managed to get the force out of Mad Mac, but just leaves it equal here as Israel once again gonna have to resign themselves to last with the ×8 on the cap from Russia.
I'm interested to see how they're going to hold on to this last year. They are about even with Uber, so just going to jump in, looking for the medic early. Here's a scout trying to follow up on anything. Oh, and the late rocket from DQZ picks him off. That's a med down for the side of Israel. It's going to be a lot harder for them to hold on to this last point here on out. looking at Shaky Legs, goes forward, can't find anything, and losing another. Down 3 right now is the side of Israel, and they're going to lose a 4th. Just 2 alive to try to hold on to this last point, and it is not looking good as the red team begins flooding their way through, looking for this soldier up on the high ground, able to find one, but there's too many people on point, and that will be another round in favor of the red team.
Yeah, the Russians net themselves yet another. It just looks like they're quite content with sending both DQZ and Turek forward on the Russian side. And they're just doing so much work, and then Mad Max surviving like a real large bulk of these exchanges there, and they're just always on the front foot. So Israel sort of wriggling and struggling in a lot of situations here, but there is time to sort of turn it around. We are just 5 minutes into this first map here.
And as we get in on this mid-fight, Demoman pretty isolated from his team on this right side, taking a good bit of damage. Soldier up on the high ground will get found out. DQC does go down there, and now Santa's so weak, and they lose their med as well. Jackie like sacrificing its life for that, but now looking to come back and find the blue med right now. A lot of pressure in, but these 2 scouts might not be enough to get the job done. Only Utka alive. Not sure on pronunciation, so apologies for that. He's going to go for a sack play onto point right now. 1v3, won't win it. Looks like Israel's going to take this mid-fight.
Yeah, a pretty solid attempt. Like, the Israelites identified sort of what the failures were in the first 2 mids, and they managed to keep Zangetsu alive, which is so crucial if they want to sort of start taking these rounds, being on the front foot and being the ones to take initiative rather than just sort of sacking away and then backing out. So they're going to look to sort of use this soon enough. Of course, with that Uber advantage, you want to try and you know, make a little bit of space in second first, try not to force, and then hopefully use it into last. But the amount of time they're taking, I'm not sure that's a possibility. And then Utka's also pulled up the sniper on the side of the Russians as Israel make their way into Lunchbox here.
Yeah, they're going to work their way forward as best they can. Got to be careful of that sniper, but unclear if they know yet. The sniper's going to be watching the right side. Jackie Legs, an early pick found there by Turek. Definitely going to slow things down. Second point not quite capped out yet. This soldier on the flank will go down to the scout. And this, oh my gosh, a 2 health Demoman will get sniped down at the very end with a body shot, but that second cap will come in. Expecting a little bit of a regroup from the side of Israel right here, but Russia seems to be wanting to work their way forward. They have this demo. They're almost at full Uber, just 95%. They'll find 1 soldier as Hype does go down to the scout. Now trying to get out is the other one. DQZ will win that fight, and 2 down for the side of Israel. They'll be getting out, resetting here for this next fight.
Yeah, that was really huge from Turek. He was like sort of sneaky around in the backlines there and managed to block the second cap, and once he eliminated that soldier on second, Israel just couldn't do anything. So he gets cleaned up on the mid here, and Russia going to take it pretty cleanly, only able to deny just 1 of the forward spawns. So equal Uber situation, they're definitely going to have to be the ones to make the move here.
Absolutely, they'll be getting ready to work their way forward, looking for an opening pick here. Anyone will do, really. And now that my casting essentials is all set up, we'll be looking for this exchange coming forward. Both meds popping it out. Soldier in behind might go down to Jin here. Oh, just barely found by the scout. Now Wacky will find 1 more. This exchange not going the way of Russia, losing their med, demo, and a soldier, all for just 1 kill. DQC is going to try to make something out of it here, up in the air, going for the medic. A nice strafe around, and he'll get the air shot. Beautiful play there at a DQC. Absolutely annihilating the med. 1 for the frag highlights.
The back cap.
Yeah, the back cap's going through, and they'll all have to flood back for him.
I mean, obviously he's not going to be able to convert that cap, but does manage to get Wacky in spite of it being a 1 versus 3. But what it's done is it's sort of slowed Israel down to the point where Russia can take a lot more space here, you know. Of course, completely stopped that mid cap now, and they've managed to get themselves back up on it themselves. And that cap time on second is going to serve them pretty well as they push forward with this momentum. Just a 20% Uber advantage in their favor, but Israel are sort of pressing the thumb, applying a bit of pressure as they make their way into this garage area. DQZ going down pretty early, which is pretty solid out of them, but Sano seemingly going to get picked off, and no, gets a really clutch arrow.
Yeah, that scout so close to finding the kill, but just unable to secure it in the end. Jackie Legs is going to go behind for a little bit of a fight. Wacky is backing off as the combo begins to pressure his direction. Now Jackie Legs, he's really in deep there. We're going to have full Uber here for the side of the Russians. That med's still down for the blue team. Didn't actually see how he exactly died, so my mistake there. But definitely advantageous positioning and Uber for the Russians. They'll find 1 onto Jackie. They'll find Wacky as well. Just trading out for that scout, but the Uber was forced. Mad Mac had to pop to the damage with cap second to be ready to come into last year.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sano managed to pick up Zangetsu And then the counter just came in, so it seems like a bit of a chaotic one. DQZ just trying to get as deep onto Gensu as he can, but it's just a 20% advantage. I'm not quite sure it's worth it, but what it has done is create a bit of a distraction for Turek to hop onto that point. Ultimately, again, as we've touched on before, just really sort of slowing down Israel at every opportunity possible, and ultimately sort of keeping their medic alive in these ultra critical moments.
Absolutely, you got to keep the med alive, keep the Uber advantage, and keep the momentum rolling. And with about 80% here for the side of Israel to 50 from the Russians, it's definitely looking good for them. Soldier in the air, looking for the medic, getting in one rocket. Can he find the second? He'll get, just not enough splash damage, down to about 11 health there was Zangetsu, but not enough to finish him off, and still holding on to that Uber as well. Very crucial, good milk out of him. But coming right back up with their Uber will be Russia in just a moment. Got Turek up in the air, just scouting a bit, won't find anything. Jackie Leg's gonna be pressuring on this flank, but might get taken out here actually, as the scout and soldier doing so much work to get him down to 1 health, and he will die in the end. Trading out his Turek though, as this fight continues to unfold.
Yeah, it looks like Jackie Legs perhaps baited there, or a bit miscommunication on the part of Israel there. He was sort of out on his own, but he wasn't even going for the medic, so unfortunate for them. But they've managed to fortify themselves in yard, taking that trade there. It is equal Ubers on both sides here as well, but Wacky going down sort of going to muddy that as Russia make their way into this flank side yard area, just forcing Israel to go back into second and taking all the space in the world that they want. And Dippy's so caught here. Goes down to DQZ. Now it's a 2-player ad, but equal Ubers for the Russians, and they do actually get forced pretty early there.
Yeah, they're gonna just walk right in here, trying to pick up Jackie Legs, but he's escaping up top. The Uber's not gonna come in back from the side of the blue team, trying to chase down. Here's the soldier. Oh my God, the med's up in the air with the juggle now. Scout no longer has this beam on him, and the collapse will be in to pick up that frag. Just looking to see if they can collect, anything else here. Scout botting forward, finds Zoe. Can he get one more? Wacky is going to get cut out. The med going for the savior play up in the air will go down. That's a full team wipe. Second's going to get capped here. Pressure immediately onto last. Russia will go up 3-0.
Yeah, 18 minutes left on the clock. It looks like on Israel's side, like Jackie is really sort of putting himself out there and trying to do everything all at the same time, which is really admirable in a player. But you know, it's just not quite working with how the rest of the team is playing. So I can't help but feel bad for the guy, but. Of course, the game is not over. There's 18 minutes left. There is time for a reverse sweep. We did see Israel win the last mid-fight, so they can hope to replicate that level of success again here. Seeing a bit more of a back and forth. You know, they're on the up.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get a little bit more momentum. Winning the last mid-fight, but unable to convert the round at the end. Turret goes in, gets a good bit of damage. Zoe will die to his rocket in the end. DQZ and Pluxa up on the high ground. Here's a double soldier bomb trying to pick up the soldier, unable to. As one down for either side, but Zoe is much better pick. Here's Zangetsu in trouble as DQZ's in on him once again, but this time will live. Good focus fire from his combo. 2 down from the side of the Russians, but 3 down from the side of the Israelites, and it's not looking good. Pluxa might be able to get cleaned up here, hiding behind these crates. Men will hit him with an arrow, now coming in trying to pick up Jackie Legs, but just barely unable to. Jackie Legs will narrowly dodge an arrow from his med. Unfortunate play there, but now chasing down Mad Mac. Will be a good frag there from Dippy, or from Jackie Leg, but Dippy will die to Turek right afterwards. And full Uber ad, as well as perhaps a mid-cap here. Just the soldier trying to deny it. Jackie Legs will win that fight, and yeah, mid-fight and full Uber for the side of the Israelites.
Yeah, they were playing really tight to Zangetsu that whole time there, and just eliminate all of the potential sackers there, and really sort of incapacitated DQZ and Turek, not allowing them to get away with what they have so many times on all these mids. So in spite of how drawn out it was, they looked pretty decisive throughout the entirety of that mid fight there, and as a result just going to be able to roll it forward, take this second cap for free, and look to make a bit of room in last with their 60% Uber advantage.
They're going to target this gun early. Wacky will find the frag onto it, but the sniper is around, and that will force the Uber out. Not able to find too many frags, and absolutely not connecting with this damage here. The scouts up on the pipes, not able to get too much. Demo will find Sano, but 3 down from the blue team. That med's going to be isolated on point with just Dippy to help him, but not enough. And that'll be a successful last hold there from the Russians. Just didn't seem like the blue team knew what to do on that push, and Russians were able to rotate around to the other side and end up holding it off.
Yeah, ultimately they just couldn't close out any of the height without sacrificing so much health from their soldiers, and then they just got picked off in the post of it, and Russia ultimately come good. The stick is on point, serving well, and just being a complete deterrent for Israel there as they get their forward spawns there with their medic. 80% Uber disad Jackie Legs up on the fabled lamp in choke. A bit of an attempt from Wacky to try and get something. It looks like he might get Turek, but ultimately will die for it. He's just being a bit of a slippery snake behind, trying to be a bit of a stick in the mud for Russia as they make their way in through choke now.
Yeah, and we're going to see Sano able to pick up this med as well as Zangetsu will get taken out and 3 down. The Uber is popped out by the Russians. They'll begin capping their midpoint. These last remaining players, just the demo and scout. But we have to be careful here though, as this red
Look
scout.
at Dippy.
Oh, what's he going for?
Oh, he's hiding under. Oh, nobody spotted him. He's on the medic. Oh, one shot. Oh no.
No, he's beefing.
Oh no, he's beefing. No, Dippy,
No!
please.
No.
You hate to see it. Unfortunately, gets a really good first shot in, but you know, good thinking there. It would have been an excellent opening for his team, but ultimately does not come good as Russia, off the back of those 2 frags, gonna just take second almost for free, and they want to keep it rolling into last in spite of their ill health. Second cap are now in their favor.
And as they begin working into this last point, I believe you mentioned this Uber almost quite there, but so much pressure onto point, no one's really able to touch, and we don't even need to see the Uber popped out. Russians will cap that for free, go up 4-0.
Yeah, it's getting into a sort of, you know, fight or flight situation for Israel. You know, they've really got to sort of pull out of the bag and actually get some momentum going. They're only able to take sort of 1 point at a time. And whenever they do have the Uber advantage in hand, they're just losing players or they're not able to take the height they need. So Russia sort of doing really well in spite of hardship, as they are so famed for. So I'm going to see if there's a bit of a switch up from Israel, but their mid-fight's been pretty successful so far.
Yeah, the Israeli mids have been strong right now. Soldier going behind TQZ, getting fairly low though, has to be careful. Now looking at Wacky, seeing if he's able to find anything, just picking up this health kit right now as the Soldier bombs him. Sano will be the first to fall, demo down on the side of the Russians, but 3 go down, including the med on the side of the Israelis. Not looking good. Turek gets low enough to finally fall to Wacky there, but it's just Wacky and Zoe, and TQZ's gonna bomb Zoe here, looking for the frags. They'll get one with it. Can Wacky find the final rocket? He's too weak. They'll have to be going in for something. And we'll just find the respawn timer there. Full mid wipe there. Russians looking very strong.
Yeah, as soon as Zangetsu went down on the side of the Israelis, the Russians just sort of balled up around Madmac, tried to keep him alive because they know that's where the momentum of the game lies. It's all about the medics on this map, just because all the chokes are so tight. And they managed to close out that mid. Jackie Legs has something to say about it though, as he bombs really deep into the yard area, does a huge chunk of damage, managing to get a scout. He's shooting, how is he reloading so many rockets? Eventually does get taken down. But
I don't know, he's just had a lot there. Dippy popped up on Sniper there, finds a body shot, but the Soldier bombing him. TQZ will find an easy frag and eliminate that pick class from the board here. Full Uber still for the side of the Russians, and Zangetsu has to be very careful because we've seen time and time again the ability of these Russian players to just walk right in and find some frags. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a scuffle up top and getting in behind. Zangetsu isolated once again. A good surf is going to be enough. Just some focus fire to tickle him down, and he will die to a pipe from Sano there. Now Sano getting very weak, and the scout will pick him up in the end. Dying for it though, and as second cap comes through, it's a 5v2. Russians looking to close this one out. Coming in on this right side. Dippy up on the pipe right now. Couldn't get. Actually, he's behind. Look for DQZ. It's wrong about that, but that is still just too much. Russians will win this 5-0.
yeah, good attempts from Israel. They definitely improved as the maps progressed there, but ultimately the coordination of Russia was just a bit sort of too good for them, unfortunately. But it's map 1. You know, we've been surprised before. We've got map 2 coming up. It's going to be Snakewater. But yes, let's a little peeper at these logs. I don't think we'll be able to extrapolate too much. Is you know, a reasonably sort of one-sided game. You know, just took the easy rounds every single time.
Yeah, definitely some situations there where I thought Israel was going to be able to take a round or two. You know, they won a few mids, or at least one. Not sure about the earlier rounds, to be honest, because I wasn't here. But just the coordination from Russia, and as you just mentioned, able to keep Madmac alive. Even though Jackie Legs has been able to make some plays, it's really been the story of how deep can the soldiers from Russia get, and DQZ's been a monster in this game. As well as plenty of other players on the Russian side, but we are getting ready. So in these final moments before the mid-fight, what's your prediction for this map?
I'm going to say Russia are taking it, but to what extent? I'd love to see a bit in back and forth. I'm going to say 6-3 to Russia on this map. I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth. I think we're going to see quick rounds.
Well, quick is the mode of action for Turek as he goes in and immediately gets the spoon onto the demo man. Zoe goes down early, and here's the soldier coming in fast, but jumping around instead as Turek and his, I believe that is DQZ, are going to be on the flank. Turek up in the air right now, might be cratering. He'll get pistoled out instead, but finding Jackie Legs, and here's another soldier coming in, looking to get down under. Unable to collect Dippy there though, and as Zoe now respawning, a very, very successful mid-fight from Russia there, especially with that soldier play. A couple of frags to finish off this fight though.
Yeah, pretty huge opening from Turek, just eliminating Zoe at the first hour there really does sort of sully Israel's chances there, and they just had to back out near instantly. Of course, in spite of that, do manage to preserve their medic just because the mid-fight was over before it started. So they've managed to get some, fortifications up on that. Zoe going down again did mean that they weren't able to put up a fight on second, so just looking to sort of build some last defenses up, but they've just opted for a sniper here, so perhaps they're looking for either an entry frag and then completely unspring into Russia on second, or maybe they might sort of have a rethink and decide to just hold it here.
Well, the sniper from Russia, Turek, did take a shot there, so it should be known, and now he'll find the counter snipe. Winning the Highlander action here for us early on might be enough to have Russia start thinking about moving in. They'll be peeking this door on the right side. Demo did dead his traps. Look at the sniper peeking from underneath. Zoe is oblivious to it, almost dies, but a lucky miss from Turek there. Means he'll be alive and well for the upcoming fight. Still a little weak though, has to be careful. He's exchanging a little bit of spam, and there he goes. Turek will find another on a 2K right now, and this rotation coming around from the Russians might be a signal for a push.
I mean, you can take certain players getting picked up by the sniper because the sniper's a bit of a wet blanket on these last holds, but picking off Zoe there is really not ideal, and Israel have had to back up so far. Mad Mag does get picked off though. That's a huge drop from Dippy.
That is massive.
That's an amazing opening. Zoe has just spawned as well. They've got their heals up, and they're looking to just go straight out here as Turek gets picked off too. Just say no, it left in this lobby, and DQZ gets picked off too. It looks like they're partying, trying to get into Zangetsu, but Israel fully aware of that, managing to shut down these Russian players and rolling it forward into second now.
Yeah, that was a really nice play there by the sniper. Able to find, obviously, picking off the medic there, getting the drop is just the epitome of last hold sniper, exactly what they needed from him. But then the focus fire, the positioning, Israel didn't give up any ground, didn't let Russia get in.
No!
A nice death there by Sano means a drop on the other side of things. No fight two with that, getting Dippy as well. And out goes Israel. They'll have to back out, but I might be expecting a sack here from Jackie Legs, looking for some positioning, but a soldier's coming in on the window right now and absolutely destroys a DQZ with a nice flank play there to win the soldier duel. Rolling right back in though will be Russia with this big 60% ad.
It looked like everything was coming up Israel there, but two players going down to that drop, losing their 80% Uber advantage was just sort of the tide turning as Russia, again, in a very similar position, looking down the barrel of Israel's last. And again, they're just going to have to try to have the defense. He does it again. Another drop, two in a row.
Did you see that?
He was crouched in lobby and he
was getting potted at by a scout, but there's pressure not to last right now. We'll talk about it in a moment as the scout is dancing around looking for some frags. Soldier comes in, finds Zoe, and there's a couple down on both sides. 3v3, but a lot of weak players. We'll see it 2v2. It's just Madback respawning. That sniper pick. He was standing here in lobby, got walked at by two players, still hit the shot, gets the drop, and then the cleanup there from the rest of the sides of Israel is absolutely insane. That was beautiful, TF2.
Yeah, a bit of a sitting duck in Mad Mac. Unfortunately, your teammates are going to struggle to block a bullet for you there. And Zangetsu goes down near imminently to DQZ as the distraction comes in lower from Wacky.
Look at these frags! The snipers are having a field day right now, trying to cap out the second point of Zoe, but he's all alone. The sniper and scout going to take him out. Jackie Legs trying to escape now into Saw. He'll find the pack, but the cap will remain in favor of Russia. Jackie Legs needs to make something happen here as players begin to work their way into lobby. There's just Wacky and Zangetsu. Jackie Legs now looking for play. Can he get the sniper down here? But he'll die to the body shot from Udka, and that is just really sad to see.
There's a tremendous amount of chaos in these fights, particularly on that second there. It's hard to sort of pin which way the fight's going at any given moment because one team may have more players, but they certainly don't have the health. And ultimately Russia coming good on that one, and they're making space for Dippy on sniper again, but Russia are not going to let him get away with it this time, but I'm sure he's going to have another crack at the nut here.
Oh, this soldier comes forward. DQC making a lot of space, and that'll be 2 finds by Pluxa here. Jackie Legs now the target of a lot of spam, and okay, we'll pick him off. Seno getting so weak, but it gets an arrow in the end, and look at this aggression. Russia, it's just dissecting the side of Israel right now. They'll flood this point and go up 1-0. So Israel's had some moments of greatness here.
Yeah, moments of glory coming out there, particularly from Dippy there. Sort of 2 really huge openings to get his team into second, but sort of bombs coming in from Turek and DQZ just meant that Zangetsu never survived. And then Russia were just able to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing into last, and Israel just was sort of stuck in the mud there. So mid number 2, 6 minutes into this game now, and let's see if they shape it up here.
Jackie Legs going fast, looking for the man. Can he get anything? No, but here comes Swaggy looking to clean anything up. There just wasn't enough damage. Back, he's so weak, he's down to 7 health. Can anyone tickle him? A demo just has to hit a pipe right now, but he's missing all of his shots. Man might live. What is this? No, here comes a scout looking to finally clean it up. Zoe, he'll eventually get the kill, but at what cost, as it's just 2 alive and very weak players here. Seno will find one as a 1v1. Scout v Demo Man, who will be victorious here. The scout will 2-shot Seno, and that will be a very sloppy mid-fight there from Israel, but it results in a cap, or it might. Turek's going to be looking to recontest here, I think.
Yeah, just waiting for Pluxa, and then they're going to try and get in. They've taken the high ground though, but they're sort of outnumbered by Israel here. Legs really far forward, but Russia just sloping out of that midpoint. Israel ultimately converting it here, so it looks like they want to sort of keep meandering forward, as they do have a bit of a health advantage off the damage on mid. But Jackie Legs just in on his own once again. But he's so slippery. How does he get out there?
I cannot explain how someone lives there. That is some good movement, I suppose. But we'll see. It's just about a 10% ad for the side of Israel right now, as they are looking to poke and prod Saw a bit. DQC going to get up onto this awning just so he can jump in onto Saw if needed. Opt to back off instead. As now Zangetsu's up on this full Uber, we'll see Israel being a lot more aggressive, but if they want to push anything, might have to go fast. But too late now. Russia has their full Uber as well, and it's just who can get the force off first. Now looking Jackie Legs, trying to get in, but there's just so much focus fire on him, and he had no support. Turk is going to be the sack coming in behind. Can he get anything? Oh my god, he gets the force. That is so huge for the side of the Russians, as they'll sacrifice 1 for the Uber, and that's all you need to get here before they push out again.
Yeah, the Israelis, they sort of piled around their medic, but they just weren't watching where they needed to watch, and just allowed Turek to slip in behind there and get the easiest force of his life, getting huge damage as well. So Russians very much on the front foot now, as they've got their players up on the mid cap, relatively uncontested. Just Jackie Legs gets a rocket off.
You don't see this every day. Medic up on this high ground on the mid fight, and will eventually regroup with his teammates here, as the side of Israel is going to push on these 2 picks, but the Uber is now popped out, and is Zangetsu going to escape? It looks like for now he'll be okay, but the chase is on. Got Turek going in, getting 1 rocket. Here's the surf, getting up to the other side. Turek will die eventually. Now here's just a scout looking to get him. Zoe, you need to turn around, my guy, as this medic will eventually fall to the scout. It's just Zoe on point. Jackie Legs looking to support, gets good damage onto the scout. Will find the splash damage on the wall to clean him up. But as the rest of the Russian continue to flood forward, it's just 2 scouts right now. One's respawning. Dippy in so much trouble. And it seems like Israel just fed players in there, not able to find the med either.
Yeah, unfortunate for them, they're throwing so much at it, but they're just sending 1 player in, and there's no external pressures, there's no support elsewhere, and it's always just 1 versus 6, and they never get it.
Absolutely. Nice pipe there, and another air shot. Oh, almost hits Wacky for 2, and then will get 1 in the end. Sniper is up on the defending blue team, but unable to get anything. Will opt to swap off. DQC getting very low right now. Can Dippy find the frag? Doesn't look like it, as Pluxa will get so much pressure onto point. No one's able to touch once again. Israel just giving up the points for free at this point.
Yeah, body blocking Zoe in that little opening on the side there just made it so easy for Russia. The pressure was there, the damage was there, and the Israelis just couldn't do anything about it, and the round ultimately slips out of their hand, but still all to play for. 2 rounds, 20 minutes, come on. Israel can put it, they can put up a fight. The mid-fights have had a varying degree of success, but they need to think about not being penned into last like they have so many times. And Zoe has had a huge opening onto Sado.
But DQC going in for Zangetsu. Can he hit the air shot? Oh, absolutely deleted in the end, DQZ just putting on a show for us right now. Jackie Legs is down in lower right now. We'll find the frag onto Pluxa. Can the scout chase in? Here comes Jackie Legs trying to cut them off from behind. Jackie Legs hits one rocket onto the scout. Can't really find the frag there, but Dejan, excuse me, will find the med. Both dying for it. And actually, I say that and we see the med go down on both sides. Didn't actually see how Zangetsu... Oh no, never mind. Excuse me. Getting all turned around already. This fight is just too chaotic.
Yeah, they chased Mad Max so deep and just sort of left the remaining players on mid to their own devices, and they managed to convert that frag, and the cleanup just came in. So Israel coming good on the third mid fight here. A good change of pace, but again, it's an equal Uber situation, and Russia have sort of had the delay on mid long enough that they've able to get themselves set up in second here, and they're not looking to slouch about. It's Turek straight in on Zoe.
Trying to see if you can get any frags here. Jackie Legs did opt to come up on Spy and has the kunai in play, so a little bit of spam will end up in his demise. Looks like he's gotten behind cleanly. Looking for the decloak now. Medic is unaware. Man, kill. Nice play there, but Jackie Legs may be able to escape as well. He'll continue to go behind. And now expecting a sack here from the side of the Russians.
Oh, he's going for another. He's on the demo. Oh no, he gets a butter knife. Finish him off with the pistol, please. He does. This guy's crazy.
Look at this flood. Look at the side of Israel. They're going to flood in right now. They'll find TQZ. His soldier's going to jump forward, but gets stopped in the air a little bit wacky up in the sky. We'll find one more. And this is looking absolutely perfect for Israel right now. Still have this Spy, so we need to see the cap start coming forward. Jackie Legs in a position where he could start capping at any moment, really. But second is still in the hands of the Russians, and I think Israel just realized that. Jackie Legs will now die for it. And yeah,
oh, look at Turek here. He's been spotted. He was behind in lower, but just gets spotted as the cap's pushed over the line. So Israel got a bit of a tap on him, but they're moving forward because they know that he's not going to be able to contribute to this fight if they're fast, and they are straight in here. Uber out. DKZ tries to get in, but ultimately no cigar. Down pretty early there, but no high ground attained by Israel. Turek comes in.
The late play gets the men, and it's absolutely tragic for the side of Israel right there. They didn't mark the player well enough, and it will be almost full team wipe. Jackie Legs is the only one really alive right now, dying to the scout. Zudka finds one more on a 3K right now, and it's just some spawners. That is so sad to see. You know, they ignored that soldier who got behind, stayed behind, came in, and just an extra healthy player to win the fight.
Yeah, they just couldn't quite execute with the speed they were hoping for, and now I think Turek's invoked a bit of fear in Israel as they're not even playing the high ground.
Turek just went in for another market partner there, unable to find it in the last second, but Zangetsu and Zoe's both so weak, and they'll both go down. Sano is just outputting so much damage right now. This is absolutely destruction. Russia looking to clean up Dippy now. Yeah, it's just Jackie Legs once again. Take some high ground, maybe get ready for a sack. He's been spotted, has to get out of here. Sub 70 health, won't be able to do anything with his life.
Yeah, really unfortunate. It looks like Israel have identified, obviously, like they're losing these fights because they're losing Zangetsu. They've got no momentum because they lose Zangetsu. But what that means is that they're just never playing high ground. You know, they've never got space, and they just lose every single fight. The sack still managed to get in and do huge work, so they're really sort of having to scrabble, and that's why we're seeing like such aggression out of this lobby area, and then just losing two near instantly there.
Why
Jackie Legs.
Why go in? Israel just fed 3 players in a row. The Temo man just hits his pipes, and now in a position for Russians to go up. Oh my lord! Just peeks the shutter, gets the frag. This Wacky's gonna jump in, get the force off eventually, but another team wipe. Israel's just playing sloppy here.
Yeah, we touched on before, it's a coordination thing more than anything. They're not quite sure what they want out of fights ever. There's no pressure on Russia as they come in, and they're just letting Turek and DQZ have a field day. It's, yeah, it's like they can go under the map as well as over it. They've got so much space, but Israel need to play sort of more intelligently in terms of positioning here if they want any chance of coming back here 3 rounds down.
Turek's going to be sitting on the right flank here, maybe looking for a jump in. Both soldiers going to go forward. Can they get Zangetsu? So weak right now. Oh, absolutely destroyed. Turek will die for it, as is DQZ, but there's so many weak players on the side of Israel, it's unclear whether or not they'll be able to win this fight. Plux is so weak, he'll get the pack, eventually dying, just 2 alive, but Madpack living here, along with the scout. Dippy's going to try to pursue just a little bit, but shouldn't take this fight.
Yeah, it looks like so Russia's game plan here is just to keep Mad Mac alive and ensure that Zangetsu dies. So they always have momentum in spite of not capturing that midpoint. It looks like they wanted to recommit with sort of their numbers and their heals, but they just lost a couple too many and didn't want to risk it. But very much on the front foot here, 3 rounds up, 70% Uber advantage in hand. And they're looking to make their way into mid again, but we're seeing Israel playing no high ground whatsoever. They're just pulled up on the floor. It's so easy for Russia.
And they have Turek in once again. Oh, just letting his Zangetsu look at the pack. But all this ground has been given up. The soldier in, Wacky, will die as the side of the Russians begin to rotate
Jackie.
underneath. Now Jackie Legs is looking for something. He's in Saw all alone, getting out, it looks like. This mid-cap will go back in favor of the Russians. UPC looking to escape, so people find, or Dippy, excuse me, will find Sano, but the Uber was bumped out by the side of the Israelis here. Down 2, looking to clean up any more frags. UPC is a good one to find as Jackie Legs continues to pressure out the Russians. And mid-cap going to go back in favor of the Israelis.
Yeah, Russia looked like they wanted to pile forward there. They walked lower, and then Jackie Legs just peeked out on catwalk and hit a couple head rockets and got the force out of Mad Mag and managed to get a frag onto one of the scouts. So a good opening from him. They do manage to close out that mid, and they're going straight into second.
Looking to get good damage in here. There's a lot of weak players on the side of Israel as Turek will find Dippy, but they're not going to be able to secure anything here. The Mad Mac will be able to heal up his players. A little bit of recontest going in. DQZ trying to get behind. There's a lot of players. Oh, look at Turek. He's going to be able to find the shovel. Not even a crit there, but just melee down the med. And it's all falling apart once again for the Israelis. Jackie Leg's the only one alive here. Pluxa going to look to clean him up, but he can't. And it's just a little bit of health there. Trying to escape, but he'll go down to up to go now.
The control point is being captured.
Yeah, Russia, again, just doing a real good job in these team fights. They're always coming with more numbers than Israel here. And they're getting a bit cheeky with it, but managing to pick off Zoe near the spawn there is really huge. Just losing Turek for it as well. Real good pressure from him and DQZ. Again, just create a huge opening. Israel just losing Zoe at those all critical times.
And with full Uber here, oh, Mad Mac gets weak enough that he'll pop. Didn't see where the damage was coming from. It was a soldier who eventually gets it. But the question, he's got a little bit weaker there. I think he took some spam. The question is, will there be enough respawners here? And is Israel, excuse me, gonna be coordinated enough to hold this one down? They do have this Uber ad, but DQZ is going to be looking for something here. Wacky the first to fall to Sano. Here's Jackie Legs trying to get up on the high ground. DQZ will die again. Here's Turek getting in behind. There's pressure onto the med again. And 2 with 1 rocket from Turek as he'll find the med. And this is just falling apart. Once again, Delgin is the last one alive. Wacky respawns, but not in time.
I must admit, I was hoping to see a little something from Israel. I thought, it's fine. Granary's like, people are poo-poo on Granary, that's fine. They'll pull out of the bag for Snakewater, they'll put up a fight. I mean, we've got 12 minutes left. There's time for rounds. But the momentum is really not swinging their way at all on Israel's side here, and they really do sort of need to be more cohesive. It's a real consistent issue. They need high ground, they need something.
Yep, just not playing the map as well as Russia is. Here comes Turek getting stuffed in the air, though. He'll be the first to fall. Here's the soldier coming in, trying to get Zangetsu. Oh my god, he's down below 10 health there. But it looks like he'll be able to live. Gets the pack 2 down from the Russians here. Jackie Legs only one to fall, excuse me, on the blue team for this mid. But look at this. Israel's gonna flood forward. And they haven't even capped second here. And the question is, will they be able to secure kills? They'll find the demo man, but losing 1 for it. Now the scout is gonna find another 3 down from the side of Israel, and they're not gonna have the mid cap either, so they don't have these forwards.
Yeah, it looks like they were sort of quite keen to catch Russia off guard there, but ultimately the scouts just got shut down as soon as they walked through that saw area. Obviously anticipated by Russia, sort of hyper alert in these team fights, not seeing that cap going their way. So they're here to recontest with the 2 scouts down on the side of Israel. Turek making huge space, gets Jackie so weak as well, and they're just collapsing completely into the lower of Israel.
The Uber is popped out on the side of the blue team. Russia will pop back here, trying to get in now onto Zangetsu. DQC goes behind and sandwiched between. Rock in a hard place there, will die to Wacky. Turek going behind, getting Wacky as he's not there in time for the arrows. Zangetsu now stuffed into a corner, and the scout's going to be able to walk forward and get the frag eventually. This is just not looking good, but there's a counter frag picking up the med. It's just 2 alive on the blue team. Able to find that crucial med kill as it looks like Zoe and Jackie Leg is going to be able to spam out the second just a little bit.
Yeah, Zeljin does a real good job of sort of salvaging that, manages to pick off Mad Mac. Of course, Israel in a very similar position of a last hold from their perspective. They've got their spawners up here as well, and Russia, of course, have only just got their medic spawn up, so they're not going to be healthy. Israel if they're quick about this, can look to sort of cap second, but they're being so slow in lobby. There's nobody on second from Russia. They're just not seizing the opportunity at all. And Russia are just taking the space once again. Wacky out on his own, and yet another opportunity missed for Israel.
Yeah, I disagree with that play there. They send one soldier onto the pipe and then just have nobody else come forward. You know that the Uber's not in play yet for the side of Russia. Nice knight there, though, onto the scout. Hitting the body shot will be a nice pick for the blue team to work with, but Jaculex kind of goes in and has nothing but the respawn timer underneath. Wacky looks for a frag. They'll find DQZ eventually with the fadeaway rocket, losing his own life there. And did I hear a crits key come out? Yeah, it was crits from the side of the Russians here. Able to find so many frags. It's just Zoe and the Med alive on the blue team. Turret going to pressure this point. No one able to really touch right now. Down to 3 health is the demo. That'll be another quick 5-0. Russia able to take this in 2 maps.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Sort of looking at the roster of Israel, I was expecting a bit more of a fight. I was expecting the experience of the players would mean that they'd perhaps be able to coordinate a little bit better, but they just couldn't seize the opportunities they needed to. And ultimately, Russia, managed to keep a cool head, managed to keep converting, and kept Israel on the last for a real bulk of time there. But in spite of result, a very action-packed game. They didn't hold any stalemates there.
That's true. I was thinking to myself, it's all going so fast, I can barely keep up. And now that you mention it, you're right. Just constant back and forth action. No one really stabilizing for too long before going in again. Take a look at logs here, I guess. But as you've mentioned before, not going to be too much to look at.
Yeah, again, we're just seeing sort of really polarizing figures on the part of the medics again. Mad Mac picking up just 7 deaths, on the Russian side. Got round 3 coming up next week. Lots of games going on again this week, and some pretty gnarly ones in the other groups as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So be sure to be on the lookout for more matchups, and I believe that will likely do it from our point of view here on screen right now. You can see everywhere you can find us on YouTube, on Twitch, where you are right now, and be sure to give us those subscriptions. And this Saturday, I believe we have Face It Clan Wars, which is going to be absolute chaos, and should be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. So check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/critscast. Join the Discord, keep in the loop. Everything's going on. You're seeing it on screen. We all love it, but
anyway, this has been Critscast. We saw Russia taking 2-0 over Israel in the Nations Cup. My name's Godfather. Was joined by Meer, Core in production. Have a great night.
Cheers, gang.
Hi-oh, Beaver! Away!